Let us pray. Almighty God, the creator and ruler of heaven and earth, we beseech thee to inspire and guide all our actions so that we always walk in the path of justice, love, and charity to one another. Help us with thy grace to do only those things that promote the unity, peace, happiness, and prosperity of Nigeria in general and Lagos State in particular. Amen. Good afternoon, distinguished colleagues. You are welcome to today's sitting. Let us go through the votes and proceedings of Tuesday, 1st March 2022. Page 472, Honorable Yusuf.
Good afternoon, Mr. Speaker and honorable members. Mr. Speaker, I obtained permission from you, but my name is still...
I can't hear you.
I say I obtained permission from you, Mr. Speaker, and you gave me permission to go.
Mr. Clark, kindly do the needful. First, Honorable Sonny.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I also obtained permission from you.
And Mr. Clerk, please go to 473, 474.
473, sir.
Yeah, no.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The same thing happened to me. I got your permission before I traveled. Thank you, sir.
Please, Clerk. I have examined the fruits and proceedings of Tuesday, 1st March 2022, and approval is here granted. Any message from the Governor?
Right, Honorable Speaker, sir. Distinguished Honorable members, good afternoon. There is no message from the Governor.
Any other announcement?
There is none, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Petitions?
None, sir.
Matter of the public importance, Honorable Macaulay. Hold it, please. Leader, please, sir. You know, protesting. Yeah, Honorable Macaulay.
Good afternoon, Right Honorable Speaker. Thank you very much, sir. Good afternoon, distinguished honorable colleagues. I'm so delighted to mention before this honorable House that today, the 8th of March 2022, marks another day set aside by the United Nations as the International Women's Day to celebrate and recognize the contributions of women and girls around the world who have positively impacted the lives of every woman and girl. This year's International Women's Day is themed Gender Equality Today for a Sustainable Tomorrow. It is aimed at acknowledging the immense contributions of women and girls who are leading the charge on climate change, adaptation, mitigation and response to build a more sustainable future for all, as well as ensuring economic and social development. The contributions made by these women are effective and powerful as a result-oriented for climate change adaptation, while their participation and leadership role in the sustainability of a developing economy around the world, Nigeria in general and Lagos State in particular, is very vital. Mr. Speaker, sir, many women of such a category are now business tycoons with multi-billion naira investment and heads of boards like Mrs. Oprah Winfrey abroad, Mrs. Folonsha Lakija back home, and Mrs. Ibikunle Awoshika, the former chairman of First Bank and the chair of several boards of companies within and outside Nigeria. Mrs. Ezekwesili earlier mentioned is one of the current board members of Twitter. These are women who, through hard work and dedication to duties, have broken the glass ceilings engraved over their names in gold. Before them, we remember the gigantic role played by Mary Slessor in stopping the gruesome killings of twins in Nigeria. Also, Mr. Speaker, it is worthy of note that we mention the wife of the Right Honorable Speaker, Mrs. Falila Obasa, who also encourages her husband to be one of the best speakers around the world. Right Honorable Speaker, sir, I'm giving the whole day. If I'm giving the whole day, I cannot list all the women and girls of substance, of which Honorable Mojisola Ali Macaulay, is also one of them, blazing the trail in various fields of human endeavors. And we have many more whose voices are still low to be heard, but nonetheless are the pillars and sometimes breadwinners of their various homes. Today I celebrate womanhood. I celebrate the heroines of our world, the peacemakers and nation builders gone by and living, who have made selfless service to the world and making it a better place for us all to live in. Dear women and girls out there, we've made more inwards, but how far have we gone? We're yet to conquer the territories. how fast are they? We've won some battles, but we have not won the war. I want to implore women all across the world to celebrate today with dignity, with their heads high up. Mr. Speaker, I'm full of gladness that this day has come to be, and I want to appeal to this Honorable House that every time this day is mentioned, that we should be accorded more presence, and we're giving more priority and premium. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you, honorable colleagues, for letting us have this day on the floor of the House. We're grateful.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My colleague, good afternoon. Mr. Speaker, there is a need for us to support women and acknowledge their greatness. Over the time, our mothers have been the reason why many of us are who we are today, because of their support to the children. And moreover, everybody acknowledges the fact that woman is very important when it comes to building a house and building the children. Because if you build a woman, you have built a nation. Today in Nigeria, you acknowledge the fact that what is happening in Nigeria today is happening everywhere in the world. We have many bad boys, many children, because they don't have parental care. And when you are talking about parental care, obviously you are talking about a woman in charge of the child rearing, support and guardians. When father guardians have gone, you only leave the children with the mothers. And mothers are basically the reason why a nation is built on a solid rock. I just came back, Mr. Speaker. What is happening in Nigeria is not peculiar to Nigeria alone. It's all over. Especially when I talk about a single mother, a lone parent, who incidentally is a mother. The children is at the mercy of the environment. Over there too, you talk about a mother that leaves the child, give Uber, when the child gets to school, the child will be hawking drugs. By the time the mother is coming back, she's tired. Nobody will be there to see. So we should acknowledge the greatness of a woman in the family setup. And this is what I'm saying, that if Nigeria is going to be greater tomorrow, obviously nobody can underestimate the function and the relevance of women in our lives. Away from them, Mr. Speaker, the responsibility is supposed to be supported. And when you're talking about gender equality, it's one of those areas we need to look at, especially supporting a woman, a mother in Nigeria setting. Many women in Nigeria today are basically married to Okwaye or Okwaru. Okwaye is when you have an irresponsible father, husband, and the woman is the only one that will be toiling day and night at ensuring that the children have the best. Okwaru is the one that the husband is naturally dead. So we are saying today, Mr. Speaker, that to give all the necessary acknowledgement, support, eulogy to a woman, it's not limited about just talking about their past, talking about what they've done in Nigeria, but look at the peculiarity of Nigeria as a nation and the reality of today. There's a need for us to support a woman. So, Mr. Speaker, my colleague, I'm using this medium to thank our mothers, to thank the real women in the society, and to say that God bless you, and God bless you indeed. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Esteemed colleagues, good afternoon. As a rider to what Honorable Laura said, that is why in Yoruba there is somebody, when we're growing up, there is a music or there is a song that is credited to mothers. That songs brings theta into our body when we remember how our mothers suffered to raise up to this level. They would have just abolished or abort us when we were in photos in their womb. They would have even killed us if they look at what our fathers did with the pains and everything they've taken in, but they did not do that. They supported us to grow to this level, to become who we are. Mr. Speaker, we know that we as growing up young boys, we are always stubborn. But our mother knows how to calm us down. They did everything to make sure that we are what we are today. And from there, talking about equality, there is somebody that stood very tall among all the women in Nigeria, and that is late Madam Funmilayo Ransome Kuti. He is a teacher, an activist, a political campaigner, and stood. What he stood for was equality of women. It will interest you to note that Funmilayo Ransome Kuti was the first woman to drive a car in Nigeria, and he stood to make sure that women does not pay tax. Women does not pay tax again. There is, when we are growing up, there is a face of a woman that is seen on our 20 naira note or 20 kobo, I think so. And that woman was kind of, they wanted to remember because of her artistry, because he is a poetry, and he was the first person to take us into modern poetry. And in that case, they wanted to immortalize her name. That was why the face was put on our naira note. Kwali, that's her name. Ladi Kwali. Again, when we talk about exploit out of this country, there is one woman that stood because they felt we are blacks, we cannot make any exploit. And I'm talking about Kufo Ademola, who was the first Nigerian undergraduate in Oxford University, and a host of others. When we talk about Elizabeth Abimbola Awoniyi, he was the first physician. He was the first to practice medicine in Nigeria. And it will interest you that women are doing a great. We cannot forget in a jiffy Dora Akunyili with what he has done in NAFDAC. He stood his ground, fought assiduously to make sure that our children and us and most of the Nigerians are out of drugs. In this way, sir, I will also not forget my mother that gave birth to me. Yeah, my mother is late, and that is the great woman of all time to me. Thank you. God bless you, sir.
Honorable Council.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues. I rise today to celebrate the women of the world on this very auspicious occasion of the International Women's Day. We have heard from a few honorable members who have given kudos to a lot of women doing well. We have a lot of women doing well internationally. I celebrate the likes of Madam Efuloye Tinubu of blessed memory. I celebrate the likes of the late Chief Alhaja Abibat Ashabi Mogaji, a philanthropist, a politician, a market woman par excellence, who did so much to contribute to the sands of time of Nigeria as a whole. We have the likes of Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, who is doing obviously well at the world front, at the World Trade Organization. We have the Michelle Obamas of those worlds, who was once a First Lady of the United States of America. And coming home, we have a very own distinguished ranking Senator, Oluremi Tinubu. Furthermore, I also, in the likes of what the Honorable Macaulay said, I'd like to celebrate our own, very own Madam Speaker, Mrs. Valerat Obasa, and coming down all the way to the House of Assembly and our colleagues. On behalf of all the other women, I celebrate the likes of Chief Whip and Deputy Chief Whip Musmola Shambudara in absentia. Having said this, I want to give kudos particularly to this government of the day, that's the APC. Because if you look at the scheme of things nowadays, gone are the days when it was only a male flock. Now we have the involvement of women at the party level, doing all sorts of businesses and holding all sorts of office, doing very well in the likes of it. Among which I would definitely mention the likes of Chief Mrs. Kemi Nelson, who has done so well in impacting women. And of course, not limited to women, also doing so much for men and children. Furthermore, I would like to identify the fact that women of nowadays belong to the new age democracy, and they are doing so well building homes. So if they can build homes, I know for definite that they can certainly build the nation. So there is no doubt that their team, which is focus driven towards gender equality today and sustainability for tomorrow, should be a thing to look into. I mean, the likes of even the most common man. We have female bus drivers now that even take to the roads. We have female motorcycle, tricycle riders that also do one thing or the other just to keep it going in their various homes. And of course, this is, however, breaking barriers. So today, as a honorable member of the House of Assembly, I celebrate the women folk, from honorable members to all the members of staff that we have within the House of Assembly, and we say to them, Happy International Women's Day, and we as men will continue to support you to break more barriers, to make sure that even as you are building our homes, you are building a nation. Happy International Women's Day. Thank you.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. I think what we are saying today is just to try to repeat peripheral what has been existent. For the world to have gathered themselves to start celebrating women across the globe since 1911, I think that is when they realized themselves. I think the importance of women has been since time immemorial, I would say from existence. Apart from the prophet Adam, no other man that is being born without a woman. Even as holy as Jesus Christ, we find out he is being born by a woman. And it shows the kind of credibility that the nature has really ascribed to women. Even in the scripture, in the Holy Quran, we have a surah that is there, a chapter that is there, is meant for women. Surah to Miriam is there. Even in the Bible, Holy Bible, he has said that whosoever that find a wife, find a good thing, and he has found favor in the face of Almighty God. And I think our women, they deserve to be worshipped aside from God. It's only a foolish man that will beat his chest and say, who is woman or who is women? Women, they are the caretaker, they are the manager of the house. I do imagine myself at times when two of us will leave home at the same time, and she will arrive before me, and I will come back home seeing her doing one or two things, preparing the school uniform, everything for the children at the following day. And then after that, I will cross my leg on the table, putting food on the table, eating, packing everything, at the same time washing, preparing. And at the end of the day, in the midnight, you know what we men did. And then early in the morning, while you are still sleeping, you always hear some noise from the kitchen. Our wives have come up doing one or two things. God has really created women to be so resilient in their way of doing things. It's all this one summation of this show that we should give them more credibility, give them more space economically, politically, so that they can excel, so that what God has made for them, we can allow them to achieve it. It was a slip of tongue when they say women should be in the other room. Women, they are the front burner in almost all what we did now. You can see the likes of Senator Remy, Tinubu, what she's doing in the Lagos Central Senatorial, doing a lot of empowerment, enriching women and youth every now and then. You can see the likes of Teminesi, what he's doing. You can see how our Honorable Mrs. Speaker Failat Obasa, she has been coordinating our wives at all time. All this one, it shows that we men should give them more space at all time, and then we should give them more respect, not only in the outside, but in the house. And one thing that we must allow our women to engage economically, because nobody holds his own soul. Anything can happen. How will they continue if anything happens? And then the funniest part of it is that whatever happens to we with the men, the family take over everything. It is only that what is in the name of the woman that can be now be using to cater for the children. So today I want to felicitate with women across the globe that today is their day, and they take full advantage of it. I want to congratulate with them and all the women and the honorable members in this LSHA chamber. I want to congratulate you. Today is your day, and all the women across the world. I want to congratulate my wife too. She has been a mother, a wife, and a good jolly friend. Likewise, my mother too. I pray that you will live long to reap the dividend of your labor. Thank you very much.
Honorable Lumo.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Let me appreciate the mover of this very discussion, Honorable Mojisola Halima Koli, for letting us know the theme of this year's International Women's Day, which is gender bias and how we can appreciate women more in our society. I appreciate previous speakers that have talked about our heroes of the past, Eforoye Tinubu, Moremi of Ife Kingdom, Nana Vishekiri, Gambo Sawaba, Abimatu Mogaji, and many more. Some have even spoken about our mother, Oluremi Tinubu. I will also add Major General Aderonke Kale, who was the first Major General in the Nigerian Army that head the medical corps. But the team rightly said that challenge against gender bias. The question that I want to pose today to our colleagues and Mr. Speaker is, how far have we gone with the Beijing affirmation, which states that our women should be given 30% in political office? Yes, we appreciate what the APC government has done, but statistically, I want to tell you that today the National Assembly has about 6% of women. All state assembly has not achieved 5%. We have about 4-point-something%, which I believe we should look at and work assiduously to ensure we have this done. This was appreciated by the First Lady, the wife of Mr. President, during about 2 weeks ago when she went to the National Assembly to advocate that this affirmation must be adhered to. As a legislator, I want to appreciate again Madam Senator Oluremi Tinubu for what she has done in the Lagos Central, which personally I have also copied from by ensuring that I lift women out of poverty. We have done severally as politicians to give interest-free money to our women so as to enable them meet the need of the circumstance they find themselves now, of which Honorable Lu alluded to, that they take more of the responsibility at home. Mr. Speaker, sir, I want to appreciate women for what they have done. I want to appreciate my mother, late of course, and I want to appreciate my wife, like Honorable Makide said, for everything that they are doing to keep the whole front safe. But lastly, sir, on a very different note, let me join Lagosians and women of the world to condole with the family of Miss Oluwabamiche Ayowale, whom we lost last week to kidnapper in one of our buses. May our soul rest in perfect peace. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Brian.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I would like to first, with your permission, sir, ask Honorable Makinde to please clarify what he does midnight. Maybe I'm too young, sir. He can help us clarify that later. Thank you. Also, on the commemoration of women, sir, I would like to keep it local and thank our mothers in our communities, each and every one of our communities, that are feeding the boys that don't have food by giving them stipends every day. The women that cook on our street corners, that feed people in the middle of the night. Those are all our mothers that are taking very good care of us. I'd also like to take this opportunity, Right Honorable Speaker, to thank and to also commemorate with a woman in my locality, especially in Lagos mainland, Mrs. Folashade Ade Fisayo, the Honorable Commissioner on Education, sir. She was recently bestowed with the award from UNAN, which is the United Nations Association of Nigeria, for her leadership efforts in education. And I think this deserves good commemoration. We should be able to encourage women like this more to do more and continue to be leaders in our community. So with that, sir, I'd like to also thank all the women, commemorate with every single woman in Lagos, in Nigeria, and in diaspora. May God bless them all. Thank you, sir.
Honorable Rauf.
Thank you, the Right Honorable Speaker. Distinguished colleagues, I want to say congratulations to all of us. Today being an International Women's Day, it's a day that we are to relax and think about the effectiveness of women in our midst. You see, they have really listed and mentioned several roles played by our women in society. But this cannot be completed without referring them to a symbol. To me, women are symbol of peace. Women are also symbol of social justice, in the sense that where you see tumultuous people trying to create some kind of inconvenience among people, once a woman is there, in most cases they are able to douse the tension and talk to them. You see, they do this indoor and they do it outdoor as well. So in this instance, I feel women are almost everything. So without wasting much of our time, I want to say that whether a government is autocratic, whether a government is democratic, whether a government is laissez-faire, for the best form of government, it is better we allow women to also participate effectively, because it is when they have effective participation, that is when they can bring out the womanhood in them. And I want to cap this by saying the social justice in women is what can be guaranteed through their effective participation. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Laiwala.
Good afternoon, Mr. Speaker and my noble colleagues. We all know that 8th of March is a day set aside to celebrate our women. And there is no gainsaying the fact that Nigerian women, as well as international women, have played their role towards the development of humanity. We can equally acknowledge the fact that when we talk of Nigerian history is not complete if you don't mention the significant role that women have played. People like Epo of Calabar, Margaret Epo, people like Eforoye Tinubu, people like Fumilayo Ransom Kuti, as well as others, have really played a significant role pre and after independence. And we can say that internationally too, when we talk of Benazir Bhutto of Pakistan, when we talk of Margaret Thatcher of UK, and when you talk of other women that have really played a big role, we acknowledge the fact that when we talk of commerce, that our women like Ibukun Awoshika of this world, like late Kuforiji Olubi, as well as others, have really tried for the emancipation of the women. When we talk of science, we can say Dora Akunyili has played her own part, and she played it well, that we can see that it's had greater influence on our women as well as Nigeria. Mr. Speaker and my fellow colleagues, I need to let you know that a day that is set aside to celebrate women is not complete if we men strongly did not support them. We need to support our women, because we know our women, they are the ones that hold front for us wherever we are not around. We need to support women because we know women, they are special beings. Why some of us who are claiming to the fact that we have 9 bones, I can tell you that the roles that women are playing in the home front are more than 9 bones. Some of them have 27. So we need to support them, because we know our women are situation managers. Whenever there's a problem, they know how to support us, they know how to do it. So, Mr. Speaker, I support the theme of this year's International Women's Day, that there should be gender equality, that women should be given their fair representation, both in economy, in politics, as well as in other spheres of life. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Sadonji.
The last fellow speaker, I want to thank you for this opportunity to talk about a matter that is very germane to me. Women are special beings. They have contributed immensely to this society, but we don't value them. Women are rugged, resourceful, full of energy, and better managers of resources. The 10,000 naira you think is nothing to you, you give it to a local woman, she will feed her family, even for a week. I have seen that a lot in this life, and I say that women are special. And we have seen nations that they have ruled and they performed excellently well. I remember the immediate past chancellor of Germany. She did excellently well. She was there for close to 15 years, if not more. And she did, Germany as a nation enjoyed the best of time during her tenure in that place. And many great women too. There are many prime ministers today in many countries that are doing excellently well, and they are women. So I want our society to understand that the only way for us to make progress in this nation is to encourage women. The only way to have peace in this nation is to encourage women. So this theme of today, which is gender equality, today for a sustainable tomorrow, is a very wonderful one. That's why I put all my weight behind it, because even the political environment, when we are doing the campaign, they are the ones that do a lot of those things. They are the ones that come out en masse to come out and vote. The one that comes to the issue of sharing, why do we sideline them? So it is a very serious matter for our nation to give women their prime of place, because they are special beings and they have a lot to contribute to make us great in this country. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, sir. I want to appreciate you for giving me the opportunity to align myself with this topic today. The Nigerian woman has contributed immensely to the emancipation, economic and cultural growth of Nigeria and Africa at large. And if we want to go by that, you can see that the commerce started here in Lagos, where Madam Efroye Chunumbu was said to have the whole of Igbobi down to the mainland. It was due to our efforts, our trade skills, that and that kind of magnitude of land. It shows that Nigerian women today can take up commerce and they can lead and make meaningful impact in their life. By going by the Kafayat, going by LSHA, which real name stands as Buki Elemidu, you can see the kind of music in our contemporary world that she brought to Nigeria and Europe at large that make her to be so popular. Going by its Shadiadu, you can see that Nigeria has huge potentials. People that if we invested so much in them, that Nigerian women has so much potential that if well harnessed. I'm using this opportunity of today, International Women's Day, to call on Nigerian women to brace up, to take politics, because we practice democracy. If not because we practice democracy in Nigeria, I will have aligned myself with some of the thought that is going on in this chamber, that women should be given their right position. Because we practice democracy, if women in Nigeria can mobilize more and garner support, the men are ready and willing to support them, because they have shown that professionally they can survive. In terms of commerce, they are there. Even moral decadence that is happening in Nigeria today, it has to be the challenge that has to be thrown up to the women. Because when women find out that they can take up leadership position according to what has been exhibited in all what my honorable colleagues have been saying, it shows that women must play a vantage point. I will not end by not singing a popular song that we all know. Ìyá ni wúrà bíyebíye, ìyá tá kò lè fowó rà, ó tọ́ ó no oyún mi fóṣù mẹ́sàn-án, ó pọ́n mi fọ́dún mẹ́ta, kí ni bàjẹ́ tí ó gbàgbé ẹ̀, mọ́mí àrò rẹ̀ sàn mí púpọ̀. Congratulations to all the women of the world. Thank you.
Honorable Tijani.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Good afternoon. Mr. Speaker, first and foremost, I want to congratulate and appreciate all our women for their International Women's Day. Mr. Speaker, we know the roles of our women in our life, and we appreciate them. In terms of economic development in Nigeria today, we know how the former Minister for Finance contributed immensely for the development of our economic development. Politically, Mr. Speaker, women are the only people that will promise and never disappoint you. Women are the only people that will tell you, yes, I will never come back to say no. That is why we always praise them. Politically, we always acknowledge them by saying, kò sóbìnrin, kò síbò, obìnrin dé ìbò yapa. And during election period, you will see we have majority of their vote. It is good for us to celebrate our women. Congratulations.
Honorable Jude.
I appreciate you, Mr. Speaker, and my colleagues. Good afternoon, all. I also want to add my voice to appreciate all the women in the world, especially today being the International Women's Day. I also appreciate my wife in particular, who served as a mother to me, because my own mother, thank her, but she's late. All my honorable colleagues said that women, they are doing well, and I would say all the members of Lagos State House Assembly, all the women, congratulations to all of you. We believe that you have been doing very, very well and will continue to support you. And we know you are multi-tasked because that's the gift God has given you. And all we pray is that you continue to support us and will continue to support you. And in every bit of our activities, we believe we'll continue to do well and continue to support all the women in everything they do. And today, congratulations and have a good day. Thank you.
Majority Leader.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker. I join my first voice to the celebration of women worldwide. If there is opportunity of coming to the world again, I would prefer to be a woman than a man. And Mr. Speaker, this is because women have special pain thresholds and they are more courageous than men in times of distress. You see a lot of men walking away from their homes, leaving the woman to take care of the children. That's why today we are having more single mother than we have mothers supported by men. Men run away in times of crisis, women stand with the crisis, they nurture the child, they do everything, they put everything at stake to be sure that their children become something in life. Mr. Speaker, we have mentioned names like Mary Slessor, we have mentioned names like Madam Tunumbu, we have mentioned names like Solanke, the first serial victim of Nigeria. We have mentioned men, women who have made impact in the society. These are women that did not crave to be recognized. They did not crave to be given a chance to perform. They are the people that thought it wise and were courageous enough to do better what a man can do. We have seen a female pilot. We have seen female pilots. We have seen women succeeding in areas that men struggle to succeed. I'm therefore saying, Mr. Speaker, that women fail to change their pattern from agitation to intragender advocacy. The party in Lagos, APC, is doing enough to encourage women to come into politics. When men are paying certain amount of money to obtain form, the female will be given opportunity to pay half what men will pay as a way of encouraging them. Even at that, how many of them come to purchase form? How many of them come to contest election? Even when they contest election, how many women support women candidates? We have, I think, Jubril or something, a female presidential candidate some time ago. How many women voted for her? Women are more than men, but do women support themselves? What I think they need is intragender sensitization, to be sure that they take advantage of the opportunity available to them at one time or other. And that's why I always say that by this agitation, women are just trying to apply extreme force to open a door that is not closed. The door is not closed, yet they want to agitate gender equality, gender this, gender that. Let them sensitize themselves. If they really want to be recognized in politics, in the electoral game, let them mobilize themselves to go into the politics, support themselves, and stop forcing a door that is not locked open. All they need to do is a push, and the push they need is to sensitize themselves, mobilize themselves, and let them support themselves when the need arises. Lagos State APC has done it, it is to be acknowledged that when we obtain from year in year out, the female aspirants don't pay what we pay. They pay less than what we pay. That's a way of encouraging them to come. Do they come? So this should be a time to sensitize themselves and not to be saying men do not allow them. Power is not served a la carte. Life itself is about struggle. Let them struggle to get what they need. Women don't like themselves, and that is why they continue to fight against themselves, and that's why they are not making impact as men make. Men will always support themselves. Let women also support themselves. But for the ones they have done, for even having the courage to come out and say, now we want to take what really belongs to us, we must commend them for the courage. But we are saying that they should change their tactics a bit so that they can get what they want. Mr. Speaker, every woman is important. Every woman is supernatural therapist. Every woman is an advocate. Every woman is a domestic nurse, domestic doctor, intelligence officer, and they take care of the society. We have given the home to them. If they want to come to politics, we will allow them to come into politics, but let them also show effort. The Bible says, knock and the door shall open. Ask and you shall be given. What is said in the Bible is for you to make effort. Let them make more political effort at getting into the corridors of power, and I'm sure nobody will disagree. This House of Assembly has said that when boards are to be constituted,
we always make effort to be sure that at least a woman is involved in the board. These are efforts by this State House Assembly to be sure that we have all-inclusive government. Mr. Speaker, on behalf of my family, I celebrate every woman in the world, my wife, my daughter, and also we must also, Mr. Speaker, lastly before I submit, women must continue to celebrate women that have excelled so as to motivate a child girl to also rise to become reckoning in the society. This ceremony should be loaded with a lot of activity celebrating women that have made it to society, whether dead or alive. They can even give posthumous award to women that have made it in life so as to encourage a child girl to grow up courageously and to look up to being celebrated as a woman. All these acts will further mobilize women into reckoning in the society. God bless them all. Thank you.
Honorable Fatai Majid.
Good afternoon, sir. I rise this afternoon to celebrate all the women in our dear nations who are the change maker, the peace setter, and achievers in their respective endeavor. I also use this opportunity to call on National Assembly to give a look to all the outstanding bills that has to do with women that did not skip through the constitutional review. And also, a lot of them have been mentioned. We must not fail to recognize Dr. Adadebo, who died during the Ebola epidemic in Lagos State. She volunteered herself. To me, I refer to her as second Jesus, as rightly put by our Christian brothers, that says that Jesus died for our sin. She died in order to avoid the spread of the disease in our dear state. May Lord continue to be with the family of the deceased man. God bless all the women in the whole world. Thanks, sir.
Good afternoon, Right Honorable Speaker. Today is a good day to the pretty and to celebrate the woman. Celebrating the woman becoming virtuous, valuable, visionary, and homemaker, joy giver, peacemaker, that woman her. On behalf of my family, I celebrate all the women in the whole world, especially Mrs. Kudatu Ashabi Akisonya. That is my mom. I celebrate her and I celebrate my wife. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you. I said my wife, not wives.
Address the House, Honorable Akisonya. Put on your mic. Put off your lights, Honorable Dog.
Right Honorable Speaker, sir.
Take the last leg he gave.
Okay. Kudatu, my mom, Kudatu Ashabi Akisonya, and my wives. Is that correct?
That is correct. That is better. You
Mr. Speaker.
That is better. You can take your seat. Honorable Togo, lastly.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I rise up this afternoon to celebrate the women world over. I celebrate those who want, those in our chamber, especially my friend that be asking me to, I must. Well, Mr. Speaker, celebrating a woman is so important because when you look at the role they play in procreation, without women, none of us will be alive, either by birth or taking us away from their womb. When you look at the role they play economically, they are the one that sells, they are the one that take our wares from the farm to the city. When you look at the role they play politically, they sing, they dance, they do every other things to encourage people to vote for us. In the church, they play a major role. And generally in the community, they play a peaceful role to ensure there is peaceful coexistence. I want to join my colleagues to celebrate women. I want to celebrate my mom. I want to celebrate my daughter, that I'm our father, my mom, that I'm his son, my wife, that I'm the husband, and equally, I want to celebrate one lady, Chioma Ajuwa.
who has played a very prominent role in making sure Nigerian name is written in gold in the world of sports. Equally, I want to join others too to celebrate that woman that deliver us from Ebola. All of us will have, at least most of us will have been wiped off by Ebola the way it was rampaging in the African continent before she, volunteered her life. So on this note, sir, I celebrate women world over. May God continue to be with them. Thank you, sir.
Well, thank you, distinguished colleagues, for your contributions and observations along the achievements that have been recorded by women, particularly from this part of the world. And I also use this medium to join you and others to celebrate women globally and in Africa, in Nigeria, particularly here in Lagos. We celebrate women for their courage, for their wisdom, for their dedication, resourcefulness, resilience, and so many other things. We have tremendous faith in women because, as you have said, without them, probably the world will remain imbalanced. And our God, in His wisdom, created women to also play a prominent role. As we celebrate them, as we recall all those achievements, it is an opportunity for us to also look inward at those things that we are lacking, that makes life difficult for women, particularly we that have the privilege of serving people and in whole as a government, is to look inward and look at the sectors of the government that are beneficial for the well-being of our women. And when we look at this, particularly you talk about our hospitals, you talk about our agencies, you talk about WAPA, you talk about judiciary, because women generally have become victims of violence, crime, and so many other things. And what have we done to correct this? What have we done to limit this? And what have we done to improve on the safety of our women? Celebration today is an opportunity for us to look at these things and see how further we can improve on them. We talk about our hospital, how much of our women have we lost in child delivery, and what step have we taken, and how much effort have we put in improving medical facilities to reduce this. Of recent, talking about crime against women, a young lady who has just been mentioned by Honorable Saad lost her life in a public bus. And of recent, that we have alarming rate of ritualists, particularly those who believe in making money through ritual. If you look at the statistics, women have become major victims, either being a girlfriend, be a wife, be a prostitute, or something like that. So it is an opportunity for us to now look at what we have in place and address it to protect our women, to improve their lives and to improve standard of living. Without them, there will be no nation. They are custodian of everything, of the husband, of the children, of the community, of anything you can think of. As rightly being said by some of you, we wake up in the morning, put on our jackets, go to work. Then you come back home again, you meet them at home, provide your food, nurture your children, even nurture you yourself, and still make us happy. So it is not about saying good things of the past. It is an opportunity to address those things that we are lacking an opportunity for us to address and change things that are not good enough so that women can have good life, better life, and live happily. And at the same time, ensure that we have protection in terms of security for our women. So I'll be charging all the necessary committee of the House to take it upon and ensure that the committee perform the necessary functions to ensure that we achieve all I have said. If I WAPA, it is not only by going out there to celebrate women, to distribute whatever they distribute, is to ensure that the importance of that ministry is being ensured in such manner that to affect women positively. If you are in judiciary, we have agencies that look into the well-being and protect the women and children. It's for us to ensure that that agency is also functional and performing as well. So we must do this. It is only when we have achieved all this that we can now say we are celebrating women. Talking about past achievements is not enough, and that will not change anything. But for us to improve on what we have on ground, for us, I will commend the Lagos State House of Assembly for ever being proactive. When you talk about laws, there is hardly any law that we have not passed when it comes to protecting the life of our women, and we will continue to do that. So as I said, I join you all. I join the good people of the world to celebrate women, generally, particularly the less privileged one, the women on the streets, the women selling in traffic, the women that are homeless, the women that are widows, the women that have been divorced, that are living their life only with their children. We celebrate them and want to assure them that we will continue to support them within our own constitutional powers. We will continue to pass laws, to make laws, to pass resolution that will make life a very rosy one and successful one for them. So congratulations to all women. But so that they will not say I'm wicked. I also join my mother also. She's late. I celebrate her and I pray Almighty Allah will continue to give her rest. And I celebrate my wives as well. I celebrate my daughters and I celebrate all my friends, particularly women, for this great celebration. So congratulations to you all. So I thank you, my colleagues, for your contribution. May God continue to promote our women. Happy Women's Day. Thank you all. Well, I don't know if there's going to be prayer for this. I would you to direct the prayers too. So we are celebrating women globally. So my colleague, if you still have anything you want to add, I think that should be the end.
Right, Honorable Speaker, I thank you so much, honorable colleagues. I thank you for lending your voices and also for celebrating and remembering the women both living and who have passed away. Mr. Speaker, it's okay to just wish for one or two things, maybe perhaps to call for the National Assembly to ensure
I can't hear you. You may remove what you have.
That the National Assembly to ensure that women and girls are empowered and their voices are equal in decision making in Nigeria. We can also ask that the Governor of Lagos State, Mr. Abajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu, direct the Commissioner for Women Affairs and Poverty Alleviation and Environment and Water Resources that women have equal opportunities relating to climate change and sustainability, and to urge the Lagos State House of Assembly through its Committee on Women Affairs and Poverty Alleviation to ensure continuous support towards gender equality and that a sustainable future remains within the reach of women and girls in the state. And lastly, sir, with your concurrence, Mr. Speaker, to urge non-governmental organizations, NGOs, and other corporate bodies to create opportunities that will give women and girls continuous opportunity on climate change with a view to ensuring a sustainable development and greater gender equality. It is also worthy of mention, Mr. Speaker, to ask for the need that women be empowered to have a voice and be equal players in decision making related to climate change and sustainability, which is essential for sustainable development and greater gender equality. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Sir.
Yeah, before we move ahead, we have before us, with us this afternoon, a former member of this House, Honorable Olusegun Olulade, former member representing Ekpetu. We thank you for coming. You are most welcome. We thank you. You are popularly known as Elenion. I still don't know if you have the Elenion. Well, it's also important to recognize the presence of the First Lady of Lagos State, Mrs. Claudiana Sanwo-Olu, who was here this afternoon or in the morning. He led the other women, in celebrating the Women's Day as well, and also to register their interest in ensuring that the Parliament creates opportunities for certain percentage of women to represent their interests. So we recognize this, Mr. Clark. It will be necessary to direct a letter to Her Excellency, Mrs. Claudiana Sanwo-Olu, that we appreciate her coming, and we assured her that Lagos State House of Assembly will continue to make law that will benefit the interests of women generally. So we send a letter in that respect. But as I've said, we recognize all women and we celebrate them. Honorable Bolo, your light is still on.
Yeah, thank you, sir. I just want to add one or two things to what Honorable Mujisola Macaulay.
I think that should have come in simple sentence. We celebrate all women generally. That's
because she raised a motion. It has not been. You asked her to raise a motion.
I've said it. There is a motion on this. Who do we direct it to? So we are celebrating people. It's just to come up, and we cannot direct the National Assembly to perform their functions. So we are celebrating women today. So let us just rise and say, okay, we celebrate all women as a motion. Then if you want to second it, and if it's going to rephrase that, let us go ahead and rephrase that. It's just all about celebration.
Thank you, very Honorable Speaker. It's also my delight to rise up and celebrate all women across the world. If you ask me, if you give me the whole day to do that, I'm glad to do it. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to second the motion.
All in favor, say aye. Those against, nay, the ayes have it. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, it's been delightful to celebrate all women in the world, and having done that, then the purpose for which being what this session is dedicated to, I have the approval of Mr. Speaker to move that the House be adjourned to Monday, the 14th day of the month at 12 noon. I so move.
Honorable Tobo.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I rise to second the motion.
All in favor, say aye. Those against, nay. Before the decision is taken on the prayer, there will be a short meeting immediately after the plenary. So I put the question again. All in favor say aye. Those against name, the ayes have it. Aye, ayes. This House stands adjourned till Monday 14 March 2022 at 12 noon prompt. Aye, rise.